Do you all have the YouTube link so you can see all angles?
Yep.
Salt, pepper, coriander. I'm going through the ingredients, right? So chicken breast, I got this pack. Let me see what you're seeing. Okay, I got this pack. It's got in it 2 chicken breasts. I'm gonna use both. Next we have yogurt, 500 milliliters. I'll have to apologize because I figured out that there's Greek yogurt that's full fat. So there is Greek yogurt that's full fat. Just don't use the zero fat. If you want to use the zero fat, it's fine. You'll just have to use chicken that's not chicken breasts. You'll have to use chicken that's chicken legs, but without the bones to get some fat into it. But if you still want to do it without that, that's not an issue. When we're cooking at the end, we leave half of the tomato sauce and yogurt on the side and we add them at the end to keep the juiciness. And this is the yogurt I got. It's a Latvian version of yogurt. Let's go through the list. What else do we have? Tomato sauce. I got this tomato sauce. It's already sauce, not paste. But if you have paste, now's the time to mix it with water so it becomes a little bit more like sauce. You can mix it with yogurt instead of mixing it with water. Put half of the yogurt and mix it with. Or all the yogurt. Put all the yogurt and mix it with. You can already mix the yogurt and the tomato paste or tomato sauce. Cool. Garlic. I got a bunch of garlic here. I got more. I will see how many I can save because my garlics were not in very good shape. Everybody sees the garlic? If you don't see the garlic, you're not on the YouTube stream.
Sorry, on the what?
On the YouTube link. I sent a YouTube link on Slack in Hangout.
Oh, okay.
Check it out. It will give you more angles. Much more angles. I have the laptop, I have the iPad, the phone, and the external camera. Okay. Salt, black pepper, my salt, my black pepper. I have the laptop, I have the iPad. And I can hear myself. Coriander, and this is my coriander. Okay. Salt. I'm hearing myself. So if you have the YouTube on, just mute yourself so I don't hear myself twice. Paprika, cinnamon, oregano. Here we go. And ginger. I got also ginger, pepper. Any yellow cheese that melts on the heat. I got my cheese over here. You can use multiple types of cheese if you like mixing cheeses. Tortilla bread, I got this one. If you got Lebanese bread, that's even better. It's more flexible. And olive oil, plenty. Okay. Corn. Corn, I got it in a can. Nothing too magic. Green leaves. Any green leaves, you could use lettuce, you could use anything that you like. Tahini. I didn't do what I told you to do. I didn't mix my tahini yet, but I know it's relatively in good shape. Pickles and 1 orange. Pickles. Pickles. Orange.
Will the mandarina work as an orange?
Can you repeat?
Will mandarin work as an orange?
Yes, anything you like, as long as it gives the flavor. This is the grill pan. This is the normal pan. You can use either. I will use this one now. I usually use the grill outside, but that would be a little bit complicated to take the whole setup with. And this is the pan I use for the tortilla. This is where I put the tortilla for the cheese to melt and to put the other ingredients on top. A tool to smash the garlic. I use this one. If you're not seeing anything, unmute and tell me, okay? A pot to mix the garlic, spices and chicken. I will use this pot, and I will have another pot that will come handy if we're gonna mix half and half. Okay, and when I say half and half, there's 2 ways to do it. First, a little bit of background. Shish Taouk is a recipe. The recipe that we're gonna walk through is a Lebanese one. The word is Turkish. It means chicken skewers, right? But Turkey was all over the place. They ran the show, so everybody copied from everybody. Whose dish is it? I don't know. I personally don't claim ownership of it. Cool. So the way we can do it is we're gonna mix all those ingredients together in this bowl. Ideally, you marinate it for 4 hours to a day. So either you do it the day before, the night before, and you cook it the next day on lunch, or you do it the same day. You don't get the same flavor, but for it to remain juicy, and especially if you're not using high fat content yogurt and chicken. So if you're using chicken breast and you're using 0 fat yogurt, you put half of the yogurt and spices and tomatoes. So you mix all of them in one bowl, but you don't put the chicken. And after you're done, you put half of them in the pan and you leave half on the side, right? So we cook the chicken. Once the chicken is is in a good shape, we take out the chicken and we put the remaining of the sauce and mix it until it simmers, until we can use it. And then we add the sauce on top, right? Because we don't want the chicken to overcook. I talked a lot. I will start cooking now. First, is everybody on the YouTube link? Can everybody see all angles? Cool. We'll kickstart. I will get a few more garlics from here. See if I can save a few more. I realize that I have 2 big bulks of garlic, but both of them are almost dead. I guess I have enough garlic now. Now the garlic, we're gonna use it in two places. We're gonna use garlic inside the chicken marinade, and we're gonna make garlic paste that we're gonna put on the side to use on the wrap. Okay, Lebanese way, you eat raw garlic. You don't always cook the garlic. Just make sure your partner eats first, not to get in trouble, because that stuff is gonna stay. And I mean the garlic. We're hoping the partner stays. That's why we're saying they eat also. And apologies for the watermark. Just using software that's not purchased. My garlics are not in perfect.
What we need to do now is just to smash them on all in a plate, right?
Yes. So peel and smash in a plate. And if you like to have onions with it, it's totally fine. You can add onion to the mix. It's not, I'm not gonna add it, but you can very easily do that if you
I
want.
have a monster garlic here.
Perfect. If you have powder, garlic powder, you can also use that, but I wouldn't guarantee the same flavor. And usually if you were cooking it one day before, I would say cook the garlic one day before and leave it, garlic paste, and leave it. It ferments till the next day, and you get pretty aggressive garlic the next day. It kicks. Just be cautious how much you put if you leave it one day before, because it becomes much more aggressive. Feel free to get a drink also if you want. In parallel, I'm gonna do that in a few seconds. First I finish with the garlic, then I go play with the drinks. The stinky stuff. So, did everybody get all the ingredients? Or did you have some hard time getting some ingredients?
I had to settle for naan bread, so hopefully that will work out. But I found everything else.
Is it big enough to wrap with it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And depending on the consistency of your bread, you decide if you put it on the pan or not. If you're using Lebanese bread, you don't need to put it on the pan. Even your bread, you can just wrap with it directly. It's flexible enough, it won't break. That will do the job. I usually put on the pan because tortilla bread is not so easy to wrap with.
So I have this Shish Taouk spice, which you gave away on this on the offside.
Mm-hmm.
So what spices should I add to it?
You can use just that spice without the extra spices.
What about ginger?
You don't have to add ginger, but if you prefer to add ginger, you can. I think you can use it as it is. You'll get a pretty decent flavor.
So only fresh garlic and this mix.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I will use this small bowl also. This is where we're gonna do the garlic paste. My favorite part, smashing garlic. I hope your garlics are in better shape than mine. Okay. If you have chicken in the fridge, please remove it already from the fridge. Chicken usually needs some 30 minutes outside the fridge before you cook. Because when it's in the fridge, the consistency of the chicken is not the same. So practically it might have the juices in one place and other things in other places. You might want to take it out half an hour before, not to have it dry very fast when you cook it. Cool, so here I have my garlic smashed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take half of it and put it in this pot. If you have a major issue with garlic that's not cooked, you can put more in the cooking pan, but trust me, the paste is awesome. So we're gonna start with the garlic paste now.
Can you please show one more time how much of it do you have in summary?
So this is where? Here. This is in the pot. That's gonna be for the marinade. And this is gonna be for the paste. You can add as much as you want. I mean, none of those ingredients, if you mess with it, if you put too much or if you put too little, it's gonna damage the food. The only mistake you can do is overcook the chicken and then it becomes too dry. The rest is like this meal is very forgiving. You can make a lot of mistakes. You'll be forgiven in the middle of it.
So such amount would be fine, right?
Yeah. Let me check. Yeah, that's perfect. Half for the paste, half for the cooking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so separate them now, put half in the bowl, and I'll do the paste now because we want to finish the paste first and then we move to the other stuff. I'm gonna put some salt. I don't usually measure how much I put, but you saw approximately how much I put. And then I'll put a little bit of olive oil on top of it, just a bit. And then I will add a little bit more. Now what I'm doing here is trying to mix the olive oil with the salt, with the garlic. And after that, I want to just smash the garlic a little bit so it melts with the olive oil and the salt. In Lebanon, what we do is we use, I don't know if I have that jar still. We use a special jar to smash them all together. This thing. But knowing you don't have it, I'm not gonna use it. You just put it and grind it inside. It gives them a very good consistency. But I'm not gonna use it today.
So it's only garlic, oil, and salt for now.
Yes. And practically we're only gonna add some cream to it. And that's it. Yogurt, practically. If you don't have yogurt, you can use some cheese that doesn't have a very pronounced taste. If you don't have that either, you can fry some potatoes and smash them with it. And ideally this wrap is done with fried potatoes, but I'm avoiding potatoes. So all the carbs I'm gonna use are the bread. But you can fry potatoes and put it with it in the wrap. Especially if you have Lebanese bread as big as you have, that's awesome. You can put fries with it very easily. You can be more generous with the cheese, how much cheese you put on it, and all that stuff. Just one thing, if you're using Lebanese bread, you might want to put the cheese on the chicken so it melts on the chicken For the rest of us, we're gonna put the cheese on the bread and allow the cheese to melt on the bread. Okay? We'll get to that. Have with you a cover that would fit one or the other, or two covers. You're not gonna need to cover both at the same time. So if you have one cover, it's enough. And it doesn't have to fit the pan, it could be over the pan. We're gonna cover only when we put the bread for the cheese to melt. Okay? And now we'll add a little bit of yogurt on top of the garlic, just a bit. I'll show you how much I put. You can put even less if you want. And now we mix it all together. What I'm gonna do next, I don't recommend you do it if you have a soft palate, but practically you just taste a little bit. If it doesn't hurt, it's not good enough. You should feel spikes in your mouth when you taste this. And at this point, it's ready. So what we're gonna do with this, eventually, let me see, what am I showing you? What we're gonna do eventually is this stuff, we're gonna spread it on the bread. Okay, for now we'll put it on the side. Anybody has any questions concerning the garlic paste? Okay, this is the same garlic paste that in Lebanon, when you go to a restaurant, they give you Lebanese yogurt with, they call it Lebanon tabbali. Lebanon tabbali is practically yogurt mixed with this garlic paste with a little bit of timian on top. And they mix it all together. But they don't put this much. Like this much would be for, probably would be for a liter of yogurt, right? But now we want it in the wrap. So we want it solid. Okay, I have the garlic here. You see this pot that I got? I have the garlic. I'm gonna add the other spices. I'm gonna try to measure so you can see how much I'm putting. But eventually you start experimenting with it and adding as much as you want for your own taste and for your family's taste. But I'm gonna do the way we do it in Lebanon. Usually the flavors are a little bit, they give a little bit of a kick. I have 1 spoon, I have a coriander now. I'm working with a coriander. I have 1 pretty heavy spoon, small spoon, teaspoon. And I'll take another. And don't worry about it, especially if you're going on the grill, because much of it is gonna burn. So you need some to get that flavor. Cinnamon now. If anybody has questions or if anybody's confused somewhere, please ask.
Will you add yogurt to this one?
Yes, the yogurt is gonna be on top of this.
A lot of yogurt.
All of the yogurt that we have.
Because I decided not to do a wrap because I was unable to find a flatbread. So I need, I guess, only spice paste for marinade. So I was sure that we were making the marinade first.
Yeah. Now we're doing the marinade. This is gonna be the marinade.
I see, I see.
Okay. And one thing you can do, if you're doing it with rice or with pasta, not on a bread, once we're cooking it, you allow it to remain juicy so that the juice would go into the pasta and the rice. So when we're cooking it on the fire, I'll remind you as we're doing it. Once it's juicy, you don't continue cooking until it simmers, until it becomes a solid sauce, like we need it for like a paste. You need it as a paste for the wrap, but if you're doing pasta or rice, you keep it juicy. Okay. So, cinnamon, half a teaspoon. Many people don't use cinnamon in this, but I put half a teaspoon. Ginger. Some people put curry, but it's definitely not Lebanese at all. The Lebanese don't use curry in their food. At least we discovered in Lebanon, we discovered curry with the Indian food. Very few Lebanese foods use curry. At least my family never used curry before we discovered Indian food, which is when I was a teenager somewhere. So, 1 teaspoon, and by 1 teaspoon I mean a full teaspoon of ginger. And this is paprika. It's sweet paprika. If you feel like using chili paprika, feel free to. It's up to you at your own risk. One other thing you can do is you can cook your paprika on the pan with the ginger, with the garlic at very low temperature, with the other spices, and use normal peppers, cut them into small slices as small as you can, put them on the pan and cook them with the whole sauce until they become a sauce themselves. But that's a process of a few hours. That's not quick cooking. The way I'm gonna do it today is the way I do it on a normal working day after work. Now paprika, I don't usually use the spoon, but I'll do it with the spoon so you see how much I'm putting. I put a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. So almost half the package. The main idea behind the paprika is this beautiful red color, and it helps with the tomato sauce also. Now, one more thing. Why did we get the tahini? The tahini, usually, you add it on top of the garlic paste, but just a little bit, and I will add it later. Before we start cooking on the fire, I'll add it and mix. Right? So if you're preparing the garlic paste, you prepare it the day before, you don't add tahini to it. You add tahini right when you want to use it. I don't know why, that's what I've been told. Cool. Now we're gonna add the tomato sauce and the yogurt. Yogurt.
Did we add the salt there?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And make sure if you cut the chicken, don't use any of the tools that you used with cutting the chicken with the sauce, because some of the sauce will not be cooked very well. Some of the sauce will stay on the side. So the chicken has to be cooked for all sorts of bacteria to die, usually salmonella. Okay, I'm gonna add the yogurt here. And why did I remember this now? Because I'm saying don't put salt yet, because salt you're gonna add after you taste. So you're gonna taste and say, okay, now it's relatively okay. I can add a bit more salt or not. Some people like it very salty, some people like it less salty. Oh, I think I have a cat in the closet. I'll be right back. George. Yeah, I have a cat who was living in the closet this morning, and now I discovered him. Cool. Now we're gonna mix all of it together. We're gonna add the tomato sauce on top of it eventually.
So it should be approximately 215 milliliters of yogurt, right?
You can add that much, you can add more. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Usually I keep some yogurt on the side. Or if you're living in a country where you don't have yogurt, you can use sour cream also, but full fat. I keep some of it on the side to work with the paste later if I need to. So half of the yogurt, yeah, would do the job. I'm putting here, I think 400 grams, but let me double check. Yeah, 400 grams or 350. The one I have here is 350. So the amount of yogurt also depends on how much tomato sauce you put and how liquid your tomato sauce is. But roughly 350 or 400 would be ideal. I will add a little bit more here to have 400. I'm adding some sour cream on top of it, because I realized I have too little cream. Perfect. Okay, and the salt I keep till the end again because your tomato sauce might be too salty, your whatever ingredients you're using might be too salty, so depending on the type of ingredients you're using, you decide how much you put. Here I have in this one 485 grams. I think I used some 200 grams. I think I'll add a little bit more.
So approximately so much, right?
Some 300. Wait, let me see. This is tomato sauce or tomato paste?
Tomato sauce.
Okay, yeah, you can put all of it. And here is my marinade. I will try it to see how strong the flavor is. It will be sweet. Now you add the salt. My guess is it's 2 small teaspoons, but to be very honest, I never use teaspoons with salt and pepper. Mix and try.
Oh, will you add sugar there
Sorry?
to balance tomato? Will you add sugar there to balance tomato sauce?
Tomato sauce is sweet. No? You mean if you're using tomato paste and it's not too sweet?
Yeah.
You can put, I would rather put ketchup, not sugar. But if you want, put sugar. I mean, it's up to you. I don't usually add sugar. I actually, when I'm making coffee for somebody and they ask for sugar with it, I have to look in my house where the sugar is. Okay, we have a decent paste. I'm happy with the paste. Cool. Now I have my paste ready on the side. If you want, already split it in 2 halves. But I would recommend you you split it in 2 halves if you're using chicken breast and low-fat yogurt. Okay? That's the only scenario where you split it in 2 halves. Or if you're doing not for wraps, if you're doing it for pasta or for rice, put half of it on the side. Cool. Now I will cut my chicken. The chicken, depending where you're cooking it. If you're cooking it on the grill, you want to do a little bit bigger slices so you can put them in the skewers. But if you're doing it on the pan, you can cut bite size. And a bite size is your bite size, depending how big your bites are. A sharp knife helps when you're cutting the chicken not to smash it and get the juices out of it. If you get too much smashed chicken, they will be dry eventually. Okay, also important when I'm gonna add the chicken to the sauce, it's important if you're adding the chicken and mixing it and leaving it for marinade, right? You want to leave half of the sauce on the side also. But the way I'm gonna do it now is I'm gonna put the chicken on the fire. When the chicken is frying, I'll add the sauce on top. My mom wouldn't agree to that. So we're clear. In case later, Mom, you're watching this video, so I don't get a call from you complaining. If we're thinking perfect, you have to do everything perfectly for it to work on the pan immediately. So you mix the marinade, you put the right proportions perfectly, no hacks whatsoever. And when you cook it, it cooks perfectly fine and you know exactly when your chicken is ready. I don't do that. Okay, so the chicken is done. I'm gonna wash my hands and my knife or replace the knife. Cool. Awesome, people. We're gonna add the tahini now. We're gonna add the lemon on the sauce, the tahini on the paste, and we're ready to start cooking. Lemon and lime.
Just a second, please. This like slicing the chicken is the longest part, I guess.
Take your time. Take your time.
You do it really quick.
So there's still a few steps. I'm gonna slice the lemon, slice the orange, and juice both of them. And do not throw away the pulp, keep the pulp. Okay, this is my juicer. My knife is dirty, I'm gonna use a different one. And a different cutting board. In the case of my juicer, I'll have to cut the orange into 4 pieces because my juicer is not that big. You could try with orange alone without lemon and see which flavor you like more. I use both. I like the the sourness of the lemon, and I like the sweetness of the orange. I have plenty of pulp here. I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm gonna put it already with the sauce. But make sure not to put the seeds with it. So double check, if you don't have seeds, you just keep the pulp and put it in the sauce. Okay.
Is your chicken already on a pan?
No, chicken is on the side.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't touch the chicken yet. I just cut it into slices. I'm juicing now.
How much juice do we need?
As much as you want.
Oh,
No, practically, I'm gonna do 3/4 of the orange and all of the lemon. I'll do half of the lemon and put it, 3/4 of the orange and half of the lemon. Half of the lemon I will put already on top of the dressing. So I'm gonna mix it here. And I will add some olive oil on top of it. Probably 2 tablespoons of oil. What we're gonna do with the other half of the lemon is we're gonna add on top of the garlic sauce, the garlic paste.
so the juice goes to marinade.
I did cut 1 lemon and 1 orange, and this is what remains. Okay, all the rest goes in the marinade. And the marinade was still grainy until this point. Now your marinade will be more fluid with the oil that we added and with the lemon and orange juice. Okay. How are we all doing? Did we all catch up?
Probably.
Okay. Now this is what I got here. I will try to take the camera on top. Give me a sec. Okay. I'm taking this camera to show you the consistency of the paste. Okay. We're good?
I have like a 30-second delay in the YouTube channel, so I'll see it in 20 seconds.
Okay.
Oh no, now I see it.
It's pretty hard to answer you in time because to unmute I need to wash my hands.
Okay, I will move the dressing to the side. And I will bring over the garlic paste that we had sitting on the side. What I will do is I'll juice a little bit of lemon on top. Almost half of the lemon. Half of the half, so quarter. Okay, and make sure you don't end up with seeds. You mix it, it's gonna be a little bit too liquid. For a paste, and that's where we add the tahini.
Actually, I'm confused now. How many liquid parts we have? This is marinade, and there are two more. Dressing and garlic paste.
We have the marinade, and we have the garlic paste. That's it.
Okay. And also, I split my marinade in two parts.
Yep.
One for chicken and other just chicken.
Yep. Yep, perfect. That's true. Now we're working with the garlic paste. This is my garlic paste. I'm gonna add the tahini on top. Just a little bit of tahini. I will put 2 teaspoons of tahini. And here, if you put a little bit too much tahini for your quantity, you can add olive oil to make it more liquid again. Okay? I just realized I didn't put oregano. Oregano goes with the spices. It goes on the marinade. So this is my tahini with the garlic paste.
How much oregano?
Can you repeat?
How much oregano do we need?
Oregano, 1 teaspoon. You can put 1 or 2 teaspoons. Damn, the garlic is awesome. The garlic beats me up. So this is the dressing, the marinade. It's a marinade, but if you don't marinate it, it's just a dressing. So I'm gonna put 1 big tablespoon or 2 teaspoons and mix.
Now my process is automated.
The unmuting.
Now I automated the process of mixing the sauce.
Okay. The wife is helping. Ah, perfect. It's always good. It's good to help daddy. Eventually with programming too. Cool. So, all what I have now, so we don't have any confusion, I will move everything that's tools to the side, and I will show you everything we have that we're gonna use. Okay. So currently I have the garlic paste. Okay. I have the marinade or the dressing, ideally split into two places. The chicken and tortilla bread. And the only remaining option, the only remaining item, those are gonna go on the wrap, are the pickles, the green leaves, and the corn. And where's my cheese? Cheese also. Where did I put my cheese? Here. As soon as we're done with the cheese, we're ready to start putting stuff on the fire. So I'm gonna grind my cheese on this side. I'm gonna grind this block of cheese. You can grind half of that, but I love cheese, so you can do it also without the cheese. But it's a different story without the cheese. Again, depending on health preferences, you can decide to change things the way you like. How much is too much cheese? There is no such a thing as too much cheese. And watch out for your fingers while grinding the cheese. So many people died grinding cheese. Obviously, you don't need this much cheese. But it's always better to have enough cheese. I will open the corn. And put it on the side. I will open the green leaves. I got them ready, but...
Hey guys, my connection went out on the oregano part. Did I miss much?
Oregano part. You'll have the video at the end, but we just added the oregano on the paste, and I was mentioning what are the ingredients we have. So what are the components? The components we have. I will repeat. We have the marinade. We have the garlic paste. We have the chicken.
Yep.
And the cheese. You grind as much as you like, depending how many wraps you're gonna do. But I grind a lot.
Oh, We already need to cut the cheese,
Yes, grind it into smaller slices, into smaller shreds. Because once we start cooking the chicken, the fast process will start. You won't have time to stop and rewind. Okay?
Also, yeah.
Open the
Going to
corn
the top.
and the pickles. Oh. Don't get your shirt dirty like me. Post-production will remove the dirt from the shirt. I'm gonna slice the pickles. But if you have Lebanese bread that's big enough, you don't need to slice. So those are small pickles and I'm slicing them by half. Usually slice 3 pickles per wrap.
Are those pickles or are they fermented?
Fermented.
Do they contain vinegar or no?
Fermented, yes, with vinegar.
Okay.
But you can use without fermentation also, but with fermentation it gives more flavor. Okay. The pickles, I will put them also next to the pan. Cool. See what I did? Don't do the same to yourself. Okay. I'm preparing everything to start cooking. I will show you exactly what it's gonna look like before I start.
Once we start, how long do you think it will take?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. I'll move this here so I can show you what stuff looks like here. So here I have on the left side of the pan, next to the pan where I'm gonna put the bread and the chicken after it's cooked, I have the greens, I have the cheese, I have the corn, the pickles, and the garlic paste. And on the other side, I have the marinade and the chicken, right? And now we start assembling stuff.
Could you please explain the trick with splitting marinade into 2 parts?
I will split my marinade into 2 parts and I will do it as if I'm using them split. Let's do this. So this is my marinade. I'm gonna split half of it. Okay? This is half of my marinade, so I have 2 bowls. I will mix the chicken with 1 part of the marinade and leave the other part on the side. I will move 1 camera there so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so here on this side, on this side, I have the chicken, the garlic paste, the pickles, the corn and the greens, and the bread. Right, that's one part of the game. And the other part of the game here is the marinade that's gonna go on the chicken and the marinade that I'm gonna add later on top of the chicken. Okay?
Cool. Looking Avengers assembled.
Sorry?
No, just joking.
So you're going to put the chicken inside the marinade now, right? Inside
Yes.
the half of it.
Yes. Okay. You see my pan's pretty clear. I will start the cooking process. I have on my cooking
Wait.
top.
Did you like? We're seeing cheese. Millennium.
On the other camera, you will see the cooking process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
So
Could you please describe what you are going to do before we start cooking? Because when we'll start, I will be not able to watch your pens. I'm afraid.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some olive oil on the pan, the big pan. I'm gonna put the chicken on top. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Let the chicken start cooking and throw on top of it this marinade, the big marinade. And then eventually as the chicken cooks, I'm gonna remove the chicken to a plate and then add the rest of the marinade for it to cook. Okay? If you're
And
doing
what would
rice,
you do
the rest of the
with-
marinade, you just wanna heat it up and let it a little bit evaporate, but not too much.
What would you do with the grill pan?
The grill pan, you can use it instead of the big pan.
Yeah, but would you also put the marinade on the pan?
Yes, yes. Or you can actually, to simplify it, I will put the chicken on top of the marinade sauce, right? Because that's how marinade works. So the chicken is going inside the marinade sauce.
That's what I did like 15 minutes ago because I was sure it works this way.
That's gonna happen, that's gonna happen. And usually the marinade, we put it the day before and we put all of them in the same place. Okay, so I have the chicken in the marinade. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put the chicken and the marinade on this pan. After they cook, once I know the chicken is good, I'll move the chicken out with a fork and then add the remaining sauce. When I add the remaining sauce, you keep the sauce until it becomes relatively dry. If you're doing the wrap, imagine that sauce going on the wrap. And if you're doing it for pasta or for rice, you keep it more juicy. Okay? That's the first part. Second part, I'll put the bread on this pan, some cheese so that the cheese melts, with the garlic paste. Then I move it to the plate and I put the pickles, the corn, and the greens, and I wrap it. Do we kickstart the process?
So once again, you remove chicken when it's fully done.
I remove the chicken when it's still a little bit juicy.
And and after that, no more cooking for chicken.
No more cooking for the chicken. You don't want the chicken to be pink inside, but you don't want it to be totally dry.
Okay.
Okay? And then after I remove the chicken from the pan, I add the remaining sauce. So I can control how much sauce I have, how dry I want the sauce to be, without actually drying out the chicken too much. We're good?
Wait.
Take your time.
And the sauce which was used for like as the base for the chicken marinade, do we just throw it out or do we put it on the pan?
You keep it on the pan. So this is the
So we
sauce
put
that was
everything on
made.
the grill pan.
This is the sauce that was made for the chicken marinade. I put the chicken inside of it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's already inside of it.
It's inside. The chicken and the marinade are together inside.
Yeah, the half of the marinade.
Yeah. The other half is sitting on the side. Okay?
Okay.
Are we good to go?
It's now time to heat up the pan.
Yes. I will turn on the pan. I have from 1 till 9. I will turn on the big pan at 7. And make sure
Can
you
you
have
repeat
the
the
pan
number,
cover next to. So if we need it, we can use it.
What number you use from 1 to 5 to 9?
7 from 1 to 9.
And what number you use?
7.
7. Okay, thank you.
Rate your pan from 0 to 10.
Let me put this one on top because this one is the most visible. Okay. Are we ready to go?
It's still heating up. It requires some time.
Okay. But it's not an issue. You can already put the chicken in the sauce while it's heating up.
Oh no! I use the grill pan. You need to heat it up before putting on the meat on top of it, right?
True. That's true. That's true. I'll put some olive oil on the pan. Just a bit. On this pan, I know it's ready when I can roll the olive oil and cover the whole pan. So when the olive oil is not too thick.
I just tasted the marinade, the one which was without the meat.
What do you think?
It's interesting flavor.
I agree. Okay. I think my olive oil is liquid enough. So I will put the chicken with the marinade. On the grill pan, if you want to wait a little bit more, wait. The important thing is when you put the sauce, you're gonna hear that shh. That's a good sound usually.
Oh, you won't need an oil for the grill pan, right?
No, grill pan, you don't need oil. And if you're putting on the grill, you don't make the marinade. If you're putting on an actual grill, you don't put that much marinade. The bigger part of the marinade, you do it with you do it on a pan on the side as an extra sauce. We don't squeeze the chicken, we allow it some time. To cook. Let's see if we can move everything a little bit more to give you more visibility now that I have some time. Try not to get your camera cables in the cooking stuff. Because I did.
Should we cover the pan while it's cooking?
No, not necessary. Because if you cover the pan, the chicken, the heat will become, there will be too much heat and the chicken will cook too much. At least my experience.
While we have some time, let me ask a question. Last time I checked the marinade, I'm in the car right now. I'll finish the stuff later. But last time I checked the marinade, it was like pretty sour compared to what I was expecting. Was that maybe, could that have been like maybe we used a different tomato paste, maybe yours was sweeter or something? Or should it be this sour?
It should be sour. The sourness is gonna go away after you cook it. And if you feel it's too sour and after it's done, you can put less garlic sauce. Because chicken taouk is actually sour.
Okay.
You didn't add nothing to it yet. It's just the pan with the chicken, right?
Yeah, just the pan with the chicken and the first part of the marinade.
And it will take approximately 15 minutes to cook it, right?
Depending on how much heat you have on your cooking top, the idea is to follow up on the chicken. So I will start flipping the chicken, though they're cooking in the sauce. You gotta keep an eye on the chicken, not to have the chicken boil too much and become dry. So I cannot tell you how much time exactly, because every time it takes a different amount of time. I just keep following up on the chicken. The key is when I try to cut the chicken with the spatula, and then I can cut it, but it's still not completely dry. So I don't see pink, or if I see pink, it's just a little bit of pink. As you can see me using my fingers in the pan, you know that I'm an expert at cooking. I'm not. Just not too patient to keep flipping them with the spatula. I burn myself. So I just flipped all my chicken to the other side. You see that this side is a little bit white. Eventually the other side will be white also. I'll try to cut them with the spatula to see if there's pink inside. We don't want the pink inside. Pink means the chicken is not very well cooked, which means might be bacterias. I have my eye on this big chicken here. I'll try to slice it in half and see what I get in the middle. As you can see, it's pretty raw still. Still pink on the inside. So I'll leave it a bit more. How's it going on everybody's cooking pans? Let me see if I can add something to this tool so I can see your screens.
My pan seems to be too big. It will take a lot of time to to make everything. It's like it's really big.
It happens, it happens. Did I mess up the screen and you can see nothing now? Yes.
No, it's still visible on YouTube.
Where's the low battery?
No, I don't see it.
Can you see yourself on YouTube? I think that yes.
We see Inception on YouTube.
Yes.
Eventually you will see yourself because I fixed the inception for a second. Can you see yourself in a better version now? Now it's gonna go back to inception. Oh, okay. Cool. I will turn off the screen capture and go back to normal view. Okay, I will cut one more chicken, but not to mix in the sauce. What I'll do is I'll take it out with a fork and cut it with a knife.
Are we recording it?
It's
I won't be able to repeat it, I guess, like the recipe of the sauce.
It's a stream on YouTube. I think I'll be able to edit it afterwards and give you the good version. And this is our chicken. It's good. I think the chicken can go out. In my case, at least. It's not pink anymore. And it's not too dry. I will start removing the chicken and leave the sauce. Because I want the sauce to reach a certain consistency without overcooking the chicken. Also, depending on the size of your chicken, you need to make sure to leave it to cook enough. Now that all of my chicken is out of the pan,
So we take out the chicken, but without the sauce,
yeah,
right?
we leave the sauce. And this is where you add the rest of the sauce.
So you add the sauce to the sauce.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what we do now, this is the point where we decide how much we want to cook the sauce. So if you're doing it for the wraps, you want to dry out the sauce enough so it becomes a paste. If you're doing it for pasta, you don't want the sauce to get dry. You want to keep the sauce juicy so it can go into the pasta, into the rice. I will crank up the heat to 9 so it dries out faster. I'm no longer worried about the...
How much time it should take to cook the sauce so it will not taste raw?
The moment you start seeing the sauce changing consistency, the ingredients are good. So the moment it starts drying out a little bit, it's fine. You can take it out and use it. If I'm gonna put a number on it, I would say 5 minutes. But you can leave it for much more than 5 minutes. Though the minimum would be 5 minutes. Taste it with a spoon.
So this is like before the final step of cooking the tortilla or Lebanese bread.
Can you repeat?
I asked if this is the final step before we cook the tortilla or
Yes.
Lebanese bread.
Yes, at this point, we can start preparing for the tortilla while this one is getting ready. So I'll take the tortilla. I'll put a line of garlic on it. Taste the garlic first so you know how much you're putting so you don't hate me afterwards. And put as much as you find fit for your target audience. This is the Lebanese amount. I wouldn't recommend you do it if you're not used to use garlic in your food, like this raw garlic, right? And I'll put some cheese all over it so that the tortilla bread wouldn't burn on the fire. I didn't turn on the fire on the bread yet. If you're using Lebanese bread, you might want to put the bread on the chicken right now. You might want to put the cheese on the chicken now and let it melt, or you put the cheese on the sauce and let it melt, depending how hot your chicken is. I would rather put it on the sauce after the sauce is dry. Could be that you put it on the wrap, but when you put the sauce on top of the bread, the sauce is gonna melt it. But okay, forget what I said before.
So all the sauce goes to, all the cheese goes to the sauce, and
after the sauce is dry, you add
for
the
now,
cheese on the sauce.
you need
Yes.
to heat up the bread, right?
Yeah, but if you're using tortilla, you can put it on the tortilla. Okay, I'll start melting
So it
the
looks
cheese.
like the second pan is not needed if you're using the Lebanese bread.
Yes.
Good.
So I put the garlic sauce here, I put the cheese here. I will turn on the pan at 6.
And for the Lebanese bread, you would put it inside of it, right?
Yeah. True. I'm putting the corn on the pan, on the bread. The pickles. and I will cover it for the cheese to melt. This is my blasphemous version of taouk. Kind of foolproof taouk. Now what I'm waiting for is for the cheese to melt. The first bread will take a little bit longer time, but then the second and third bread will be much faster to melt the cheese. The intention from the sauce now is to get as much juices out. You see the sauce now, if you're doing pasta, by this time you can remove the sauce. I will keep it because we're using the wrap here. Or for rice also you can remove it already.
So at what time can you remove the sauce? Sorry. When you see the...
Right now,
tomato?
if you're doing for rice or for pasta, the sauce right now can be removed. Right?
Okay.
If you're doing it for the wrap, you're gonna keep it until it's consistent enough, like a paste, so you can put it on top of the bread and it wouldn't be sucked completely by the bread.
Okay. And when it becomes a pasta, I will also need to add some cheese inside of it.
Yes, for the bread.
Or should I do it before it, so that because like the cheese will give it some.
Yeah. What I would say is, you wait until the sauce becomes like pasta. Put the cheese on the bread and then put the sauce on top of the cheese. The sauce will melt the cheese on the bread.
Okay.
This is
So I put the garlic sauce and the cheese on the bread, and then I add the second sauce on top.
Yes. The typical Lebanese way is that this sauce marinates for 24 hours, like from the night before practically, and then you put the meat on skewers and you grill it on the grill. And then the skewers are still hot, the bread is ready, you put the skewers on the bread and the skewers will melt the cheese. Some street food places would put the cheese and everything like this, but then put the bread in a toaster so that the cheese would melt. After they put everything, they make the wrap and they put the bread in a toaster. So they don't have to worry about melting the cheese melts in the toaster. You can see my sauce is almost done. I can turn off the fire now. Okay? My cheese is starting to melt on the bread. Not completely melted, but it's starting to melt. What I will do now, I'll put some of the green stuff I have on the wrap. Okay, when you start seeing the sauce gluing at the bottom of the pan, you turn off the fire on the sauce. Okay, this is my sauce, it's ready now. Now what I'm gonna do is put some of the sauce on top of the cheese so the cheese melts. Chicken in the wrap. The more chicken you put in the wrap, the harder it's gonna be to wrap it. If you look at my chicken, you'll see that it's white, but it's cooked. Okay? And now my wrap is ready to get off the pan into the plate. This is my wrap. This is what's gonna become my wrap. I throw the vegetables on one side and I wrap it. And you got a messy wrap waiting for you to eat.
Сверху куда я забыл? Внутрь, да? Ну что, намазано?
That looks amazing. Next time I will go for wrap for sure.
It tastes awesome too. Okay. And I guess you can do as many wraps as you want. I will stop the streaming now. I will get the stream out and send it to you afterwards.